Hello students, welcome back. So now we are going to be focusing our attention on Seaborn's scatter plot. What scatter plot does, it allows you to see relationship between two numerical columns, two numerical variables. So let's say you have this right here. This is a scatter plot right here. This is an example. In this case, you can see that as your total bill is over here and this is your tip. So these are numerical in nature right here. And as your total bill is going up, in other words, as this value is going up, this value is also going up. So you can see that type of relationship in this particular instance. Okay, so let's understand this through some examples. So let's actually plot that. So I'm importing my seaborn. Let me increase the size of the screen so it's a little bit more visible. So I'm importing my Seaborn as SNS, also importing my Matplotlib, and I'm loading my tips dataset. So I print my first few rows of my tips dataset, and so this one actually talks about, like, people, they go to restaurant, they pay money. So this guy, he went to a restaurant, he paid $16.99, and the amount of tip he gave was 1.01. And this was a female customer. And did they smoke? The answer is no. This customer did not smoke. And what day was it? It was Sunday. What time was it? Well, it was a dinner time. So there's two types of time over here: dinner and lunch. How many people were there in the group? In this case, it says two. So there were two customers in this particular instance. And so this is what this tips data set is all about. So coming down here, so let's start with something basic scatter plot. So in this case, I'm specifying my data equal to tips. That would be this data set right here, tips. This, by the way, comes with the Seaborn library. So this is pretty good. You don't have to download from the internet. So my x, in this case, x-axis is going to be total bill, and my y-axis is going to be tip, like how much tip was given. So when I plot this, this is how it looks like. So this is the total bill and this is the tip. So as your total bill increases, your tip, the size of a tip also increases somewhat linearly. So you can see that, so there is some correlation between total bill and tips over here. Now in this case, each dot right here, each one of these dot, it represents one observation. In other words, each dot is one data point. Okay, now let's do the scatter plot between a total bill and tip. And this time I'm going to add a color, sex in this case. So let's do that. In this case, I've just added a color, and you can see that in this case, you have male and females. So the males are like blue and the females are orange in color. And another interesting thing you will notice is that I'm not specifying over here that to draw the legend. It's just doing it on its own. It's doing it automatically. That's one of the coolest thing I like about Seaborn, is that for the most part, it actually figures out what you need. So in this case, you can see that my legend is over there. So this gives you a relation between total bill and tip, and it separates by category, male and female right here. Okay, now let's say I want to separate based on the sex and also display the time category. So in this case, I'm putting a style equal to time. So I have two categories, sex right here, u equal to sex, and style equal to time. So let's do that. And in this case, you can see that there basically are four different features over here. You have total bill, you have tip, and you have time. There are two types of time, lunch and dinner, and then sex column. You have male and female. So in this case, if it's a male, it's going to be blue. If it's a female, it's going to be orange. On the other hand, for the time, if it's a lunch time, you're going to see a circle. If it's a dinner time, you're going to see a cross over here. So let's look at this one right here. Let's understand what's happening. Yeah. So this point right here, this represents a dinner time for a male customer. Male because it's blue, and dinner time because it's cross. What about this one right here? This one right here represents a female customer. This would be during lunchtime. So that's what that is. Female customer during lunchtime. What about this one right here? This cross. This one. This one represents a dinner time customer, a female dinner time customer. That's what this one represents. Okay, so assuming that you have understood this, so this way you can actually find the relationships between variables like total bill and tip for based on the time and also based on the gender, like whether it's a male and female. Okay, then you can also do a scatter plot with size. So in this case, I'm specifying my size equal to size right here. This size is a column. So if you recall, the size of the group goes from 1 to 6. So when I plot this thing, this is how it looks like. Now, here's the interesting thing about this scatter plot. If you notice, your size goes from 1 to 6. And if you notice in your visual, you have smaller circles over here. But as you go over here, you have big circles. Well, that makes sense because big circles means big size people. Sorry, big number of people in that group. So they had 6 people in this group. They had like maybe 4, I think. This seems like 4. This one seems like five people in the group. So people who are larger in the group, so let's say you have a lot of people coming to a restaurant, of course they're going to pay more money, their total bill is going to be higher. So that's why you see big circles over here and smaller circles over here. Smaller circle means that the group size was one or two or three maybe, and so they did not pay much money for the total bill. Okay, so let's see now, multiple dimension. You can actually have more than one dimension. In this case, I'm actually using total bill column. I'm using tip column. I'm also using day column. I'm also using size column. So in this particular instance, you can see that it actually draws these multiple colors over here. In this instance, I don't know, it really did not help me much, but I just wanted to show it to you. So in this case, you can see the days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and each day has different colors. So Thursday is like bluish. So anytime when you see bluish right here, that will tell you Thursday. So let's look at this right here. This is telling me that this data point is for Thursday, and there were six people in the group. Okay, this one right here, this data point is for Saturday because Saturday is green, and this represents, I would say, four. So there were like four people in this group. So this way you can actually kind of get a little idea. Just on a side note, I'm kind of looking at it. And I'm looking at a lot of green circles over here. You can see there's a lot more green over here. So that tells me that maybe we have more data for green and also for the red ones. You can see there's a lot of red and green over here. So you don't see many orange ones over here. There are only few oranges ones, not many, but a lot of green and a lot of red. Okay, now let's do a scatter plot now. This time I'm actually using u equal to size equal to size, and in this case I'm specifying my size equal to 200 to 20 to 200, and legend equal to full right here. So this is pretty much the same thing as above. I was just experimenting just to see what it does, and this prints out this particular displays this particular plot here. So again, it says this, it essentially displays the same thing that I just talked about. Small circles means so less number of people in the group, and this one actually has a lot of people in the group over here. So you have six people, and so okay, so more people, that means they're gonna pay more bill. All right, thank you, gentlemen.